What's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. I'm glad to have you. Hope you're doing well. I'm flipping cold. I'm gonna put on a jacket real quick. I have my workout stuff on, which is just like a little t-shirt and some shorts. So it's not the most weather appropriate. Though I don't freaking know, it's supposed to get up into the 70s tomorrow, so LOL Texas. There's a Canadian wine called 20 Bees. That's incredible. Enjoy everyday moments with 20 Bees. Oh, what does the label look like? I want to see it. Hang on. I have to do some research real quick before we get started. New window. Let's search for 20 Bees. Oh, that's actually a cute label. That's actually pretty cute. I like that. Because it's like the 20, but it's also a bee. That's well designed. Looks like they also have one that's much more on the nose. 20 Bees. But I quite prefer this design. Much more clever. Sauvignon Blanc. I like how there's also here's just some bees. 20 bees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Sure enough, 20 bees. Mini wooden bumblebees X20 bee insect craft card wood toppers embellishments. We do that at the office sometimes for the happy hours. We'll pick them based on, like I know one time we had one where she picked it based on the label because it had like a weird little owl on it and she thought it was kind of cute and strange. Also, this is a really strange shape for a bottle. I don't know. I mean, is that just normal for whatever kind of wine that is? It seems very skinny and very tall. 20 bees just because? Gift pack? You stop that. Ice wine. What the heck is ice wine? Ice wine. A type of dessert wine produced from grapes that have been frozen while still on the vine. Ah, interesting. Never heard of such a thing. Hang on, cat pee in a gooseberry bush. Cat pee in a gooseberry bush. Well, I'll be darned. Wine that actually tastes like grape juice? That sounds incredible! And dangerous, as I do love. I do love grape juice. Alright, that's been a fun detour. Let's be gay and in space. Alright, so as we were, we're heading towards the moon now. And there's a chance we're gonna do some sort of weird, fulfill the immersion project that Lapras wanted us to do. But, apparently Mercury doesn't want us to do it, and Saturn was like, don't worry about it. I'm gonna do it, but not on his terms. Or whatever the heck. Which one is Neith moving of? Neith moon. Venus. A hypothetical natural satellite of Venus, reportedly sighted by Giovanni Cassini in 1672 by several other astronomers in following years. Do you think about Neith still? That's out of nowhere. I think about them every day, obviously. They're the reason celestial mechanics exists. A combination of Neil and Keith. Ah, yes! This is double... That's the ship name for Dragon Police. Don't ship them, that's weird. First understand what happened to them. And then, because we couldn't stop thinking about it, about how to make what happened to them happen to us. We still don't know what it was exactly. Ooh, so did Neith do some sort of, hang on, sorry, I dropped something on the floor. I found it. I saw it, but now it's gone again. Whatever. That rubber band has lost its space. We still don't know what it was exactly. They had us all get together to reach through space and time and contact the existential threat wherever it came from. To make sure that it truly had been defeated for good. I think they were really hoping it wasn't. We felt the same, especially us who never got to fight yet. We reached together as far as we could. And Neith reached farther than anyone. I did think it would have been them before anyone else. But I didn't know them. Was it that they reached too far? Or what? Or something reached to them? What's the difference? In the end, they got it. Whatever it was. Are you having second thoughts? Maybe. They were the only one. I always wondered why that was. Were they special? In a good way or a bad way? Were they chosen? What would be the criteria? We know it's none of that, though. Just a lonely, unchosen child. With so little presence in this world, they fell into another one. That's how it is. The only trick is how to do it on purpose. That's just it. Are we too attached? I want to be something new and share it with everyone. Am I too heavy for the apple? The thin line between falling into inverse because you have hope and because you don't have any left. We should be glad to know. We should be glad it's not so easy, you know. Dang, guys. Why children? This is from Nyx, from now disgraced and kicked out of the team, Director Nyx. They aren't children anymore, but when they were pilots, they were. For all the obvious reasons that children are more suited to be pilots than adults. Since the decline of the space program, there have been fewer and fewer waves of new recruits, and the current pilot generations have no successors. Adults are serving as pilots because there are no longer any children in space, and adults should not have to serve as pilots. It would be cruel to send children to fight a war so that adults don't have to. Especially as adults are far more powerful tidal forces than children. In their physical and metaphorical manifestation, tides are the measurement of the authority that culture has over the universe, the light of the soul that turns all impossible things into our dominion. The gravitational forces of children are weak enough to perceive and engage the existential threat without obliterating it instantly. And as a cancer that exerts a subtle influence in the back of our unknowing minds, they are suited to protect us from it. This is so cool. Ava vibes intensify. I know, right? I don't even have to say it. You know. You knew I was thinking it. For this reason, Memorial Foundation has pushed against traditional cultural institutions for engaging existential threats. This more humane practice, due to the resiliency of children and detrimental long-term effects contact with existential threats has on adults in the vast majority of cases. How interesting. Get out of the robot, Saturn! In some exceptional circumstances, contamination lingers in children. The gravitational forces never achieve sufficient power to extinguish the existential threat without resistance. Without the tidal force to challenge other adults, they remain in limbo, unsuited to anything else. The remaining small percentage of the original pilot program that continues to reside in space is made of such cases. Oh, that's so freaking cool. Alright, new version proposal. Excited. Classified. You know, I feel like I'm about to sneeze. Nope, never mind. Thank you. I'm no different from my former colleagues. I think we all want the same thing ultimately, every one of us. I'd implore you to be forgiving of them, though not of their methods. Many of us are thankful for the ending of the Cold War. The paranoia and suspicion that accompanied the strength of the existential threat in this world as it fed on the trauma and malaise? One of those words I don't really have to say out loud very often. And discontent of the world after the war. But I think some of us must have some reservation about the future. In abandoning existential threats to address the threats of our home, it will inevitably result in us turning to conflict between humans once more. And in turn, the existential threat will thrive. We are looking for the smoothest, most uncontested future. I won't lie. This will not ensure happiness for everyone. In fact, it may be difficult to understate how much it will ensure the opposite, for what we will ensure are very few. Malaise! Select the potato chip! Potato chip. Get away from these. These are Malaise. Go get your own. But what I'm proposing will ensure the maximum happiness for the maximum number of people. And what else can we do? This is going to make a few people really miserable, but it will probably also it will definitely for sure make some people miserable, but it will also make some people pretty okay. Sorry, gang, I just remembered I forgot to refill my water before the stream started. I was carrying it into this room and the lid fell off and it spilled all over the floor and cracked my glass a little bit. I think it's still okay. Because it only cracked it at the top. So it is kind of a drag. Anyway, I'm gonna go refill it real quick. Okay, hello, I am back. Sorry about that. Oof. So which one of these missions do we want to do first? I think we typically been going Pluto, then Terra. The acceleration due to gravity. Celestial mechanics and Cradle's graces have one thing in common, and that's escaping Earth's gravity. To do that, they need Saturn and Pluto to work together to corrupt the lunar gravity well. It's an opportunity for one to get the upper hand over the other, but they're not thinking about it politically. Plastic versus metal. Earth has promised to let the children of space sort themselves out for now, but the machines of war guard the way back home, just in case. When Saturn and Luna Terror meet in a chance encounter, the true terror of humanity stares them down. Ooh. Let's bust up this gravity well! I'll see you in gravity hell! How was the new equipment fitting? It's not that much weirder than how it was before. This mission really is a weird one, Mercury. This was always the plan, you know that. The lunar gravity well is the anchor that all tidal reactors resonate with. It's how ship cells maintain their form, how colonies on other planets and orbital bases and ships maintain environments humans could survive in. Yeah, if we screw this up, that means that the ship self is gonna, like, start deteriorating. Won't that kind of, like, wreck Saturn? Mm-hmm. It's me. Gravity, in both literal and figurative senses, is required for us to live in space, and without it we dissolve into the universe, become everything that humans aren't. There's a lot of that in the universe, if you've noticed. If we want to turn into something interesting and specific, we have to make sure that we're controlling the eversion process. God, this is so cool! Is it going to work? Probably not. I wouldn't trust Iobatus to do this right. There's nothing in it for him, so why would he care? When he lived on Earth, he had everything he wanted. He isn't like anyone else who came to space. He's just flirting with the idea of transcending human limits for boring reasons, and only for his. There are no places left on Earth to conquer, so he wants to be the first to own the future. Well, fuck you! I own the future! Future is Saturn's! Get bad, Iobatus! Saturn bounces off the gravity well, its string of pearls giving off both middle fingers. Actually, I don't know how many fingers string of pearls has. If it has, I don't know if it has enough to do that, but the mental image is there. If this actually works, I don't want to share it with him. Oh, you don't have to worry about that. I told you I was playing this how I wanted, right? I'm not letting him have this. Ooh, okay. Pluto tipped Saturn to entertain a silly dream. I'm curious, but no, we gotta go all loyal. To fall in with her. We can fall in the gravity well? Just dump ourselves in it? On the lunar South Pole, the moon's first city glimmers unmundanely, so ordinary. It's hard to believe it's not just another site on Earth. The Lagrange colony was destroyed. The Ares colony was stillborn, but Earth's satellite is almost as much Earth as Earth is. So we have the authority to name Earth's satellite the Moon, part of our body, the native sphere, and not foreign, unknown Luna. If it was the space, even if the space program is ended, the Moon will remain part of Earth, as it once was, before a cosmic event tore it from Earth. Oh? Reclaiming the Moon was a historically and existentially important event for all of us. Except for this impossible tower on this impossible mountain, in a point of eternal light, which is not so earthly yet. Oh, earthy yet. Earthy. The gravity well is suspended directly above the tower's point, resonating with Earth, to keep every wayward human in space grounded. It is a good jam. The Moon has been taught almost all of the Earth's gravity, but not quite. There is still some possibility left. Yeah, it sort of sounds like they don't have, like, the moon isn't really a part of Earth anymore. Not on orbit with it, I guess. You're quiet. Are you up to something? What makes you say that? The tilde, but also everything else. Pluto, please! These girls and their narratives. Hey, I'm being very sneaky here. It's a good face. The string of pearls and chromaculas circle around the small, glimmering void of the gravity well. For all the good it might do, Celestial Mechanics and Kratos Grace's capital ships are standing by. Just not too close. Who knows what could happen? I should be suspicious, shouldn't I? I think you must have some sort of evil plan. Of course! You should always be suspicious. I'm shifty. I'm here to get the upper hand. Good, and that's why I'm here too. Still, I don't mind if it's your evil plan that finally succeeds, as long as it's yours. You're trying to fluster me. Try harder. I mean, it is working. I just want to get flustered more. Saturn, please. You're in a really good mood. So I'm extra worried. More worried to be working with you than all the times fighting you. Not in a bad way, though. The gravity well is a massive engine, and it is very stable. To destabilize it is very dangerous to everyone and everything, which is why they're opening it. The escorting operational platforms from Kratos Graces and Celestial Mechanics tonelessly coordinate with each other to instruct Saturn and Pluto on preparations. Like exes that are forced to attend an event for their children together, because that's what they are. Now you're the one who's quiet. I was in a good mood. Did I tease you too much? Oh no, I was just remembering something. Do you remember this too? We did something like this before, a long time ago. We did? Together? I only saw you a little bit back on campus. It was a kind of weird time. You seemed really far away then. More so than now. And we weren't there that long. For the third generation, they wanted to kickstart the process, you know? Not a whole childhood of care and attention, but condensed, chemically assisted, cybernetic enhanced growth. They wanted us to go from nothing to perfect. I guess by that standard, we didn't fall as short as we could have. Unfolding dimensional cords. Begin torque acceleration. They were hard times. You know I was really bad at first, right? Not just terrible at all the classes, all the tests. Oh, excuse me. Not just terrible at all of the classes, all of the tests, all of the work, but I wasn't obedient or likable either. I was super annoying. It still feels like that to me most of the time. That can't be true. Of course it's true. I wouldn't have tried so hard if I hadn't been like that at first. When I first got here, I knew I was lucky. I should have been so much happier that I was on Earth, but everything felt wrong. I almost said wrong. Everything felt wrong. Everything felt wrong for Pluto. It took a long time for those memories to turn happy. I'm interested in what you're wearing. I've been thinking about it this whole time. Like, is it like a coat that you've only got on like halfway, or is it like some sort of like sash? I can't tell. I need full body shots of these girls! I'm sure they exist. Just as full body shots of the, We Know the Devil girls existed. Yeah, it kind of makes me think of Asari too. Containing stray particles, establishing net. A blanket. That's kind of cute. I like that thought too. It was the opposite for me. At first, I loved being a science experiment, but I guess it would have been different for you. I didn't think about that. But you made it sound like we met each other before? Enabling physical counselor. Limit off. I'm good at remembering people. There's not that many of us, so it's not that hard. But I remember you. You looked like you started out perfect. You know, I was a little jealous of you. I'm not surprised you don't remember the one thing we did together. Everyone was there, and we were just thinking about what happened, and not anything else. Oh, you're talking about... yeah, that. We were all there, so of course you were there. I didn't think about that either. Nyx, Iapetus, and Europa all wanted the space program to justify its existence. Earth didn't agree. The alien threat that we defeated with such ease wasn't even worth it. Just a shadow created by waves of humanity in space. A color and a light that fought us and never came into focus. Ooh. So they had us all come together over the gravity well, just like this, to see if we could pull whatever they were more fully into our universe. And then it went so wrong. Try to pull an alien from the other side. That was when the space program really ended, wasn't it? I guess that must be the thing that they were talking about with Neith. We never should have done it. It was risky, and no one knew what they were doing, and everyone was desperate. I don't know. Maybe Neith doesn't feel the same way. The tiny point of glimmering darkness in the gravity well sometimes shines in such a way that, for a moment, it seems like there's something inside it. I hope that's true. I want to believe it. I can't blame them for what happened, though, either way. Huh. Really, though? What do you mean, can't blame them? I mean, they were the one who gave in, right? When most people talk about what Neith did, or what happened, when they were turned inside out in the light of the gravity well, it was as if it was a horrible accident. He turned inside out in the light of the gravity well. Oh man, that's hardcore. It was as if it was a horrible accident. Not something they did on purpose. Why do you talk about it like it was? I just had this feeling. I didn't really know Neith at all. No, maybe I should just be honest. For a second, I was thinking the same thing. What if I jump in? I thought the same thing. We could have been like them. During the testing, when we saw the gravity well opening before us, we could have jumped in too if we wanted to. It was scary. It was, but a lot of us looked like that, and after, we thought, us too. And that was how Celestial Mechanics was born. That's the truth. Whatever Iapetus really wants aside, we have our own ideas. That's amazing. I couldn't be so brave. When Earth looked at what emerged, they were filled with despair. So that's how I decided to feel too. After all, it was proof that the existential threat was the same thing that it's always been. The same thing we've been fighting as long as humans have been humans. The shadow of possibility cast by us. The not quite there aliens we had fought for so long were just caused by our ripples in space-time. We only had ourselves to lose, and nothing to gain by fighting them. Where Neith went and what they became, only Venus knows. What did you really feel in that moment? Before you told yourself otherwise? I'll tell you how I felt. I felt smug. I mean, I did everything right, and that loser messed it up. When I learned it was the end of the program, I was mad. But when they demoted me from piloting anyway, I realized I was the fool. It was an important lesson on not being a good girl. Stabilizing reaction. Synchronicity perfect. Hold until stable. I feel like I know you a little better now, Saturn. Me too. In a new kind of way. Now you, what did you really feel? So cool. The gravity well opens. The reactor is turned inside out, from the shining white to infinite black, drawing in all that is and emitting all that isn't, yet. But with gravity itself, the weight we have in the universe, that alone is all we need to touch. Hey girls! Hey! Oh, there you are. Shoulder freckles. I knew we'd only get a moment to touch. Do you maybe think sometimes of falling in? Even you? You must have thought about it. Core resonance in perfect conditions, ready for full release. Gravity well unbound. All stability checks normal. Here it comes. Back then, I almost did jump in. I thought about it before it was happening, when they said, you must not, under any circumstances. It would make anything I couldn't do impossible if I left everything I had behind. It's an awful paradox of a deal, but I wanted to do it so much I would have if Neith had wanted it 1 second more. I've never told anyone that. You're really good at seducing people, Saturn. If I gave you the chance to fall in again, would you? Would you fall in with me? Oh, just you wait and see. The gravity well shines. It is collapsing into a star. Everything is starting. The opening was peaceful, perfect, no problems. Yet there's a feeling, like a fluttering of wings, deep down. Everything is ready for you. I wish you would let me help you more. You'll be fine back home. Without a ship. I envy you a little bit. Piloting is for girls and jocks. It's not my thing. But I wish I was coming with you. Sometimes. A very, very tiny bit. Mercury. We are very different, but I love you. We're parts of the same thing. We wanted the same things. And I'll walk alongside you until we get them. Really? You're not leaving? Possibly forever? If I'm leaving, you're coming with me. If I stay, I'll bring you home. You know you can't rely on me for anything, but you can count on me for this. I promise. I promise. You promise with correct punctuation and capitalization? So you know it's real. What else can I do to pay you back? Nothing. I count on you for a lot, Saturn. The same way you count on me. These two! Ooh! So I'm trying to figure out which one was if this is a reply, because this was Origin pilot program training documentation leaked. And this is, I assume, that Nix's was a reply to this sort of thing. Or perhaps this was another thing on the same topic. By the end of the space program, with the recruitment having stopped almost a decade before the official decommissioning of the space program, all the pilots had become adults. I want to read this in like a educational short sort of thing, like a training video. I can't, like, not propaganda, but you know what I'm saying? I can't think of the proper word. Yet they were recruited as children, and spent their fiercest years of fighting against the existential threat as children. Much like criticisms levied at the scout programs on Earth, it was a motion that Memorial Foundation considered heavily in deciding how to recruit their pilots. Children have no special piloting qualities, with much weaker title authority than adults, who, of course, had the title authority to engage other adults. Adults would be stronger and more powerfully able to use ship cells. Oh, okay, I understand. Much more so, the beloved had chosen adults rather than the discarded and flawed children that were chosen. On Earth, adults, with much, much stronger tidal forces than children, will destroy the existential threat before even comprehending it. And because of this, those threats are able to hide in the world and prey on those who are more weak, such as children, or those who are unchosen, even as adults. Those who are strong enough should struggle with other humans, and those who are weaker protect the rest from the trivial threats outside humanity. Sustained contact with the existential threat often exacerbates this effect, and there is a cold twofold reason for delegating who will and who will not confront existential threats. Children and the unchosen bear the burden, so adults will not be worn away. Damn! Children and the unchosen, and especially the unchosen children, are getting thrown under the bus. We're not even trying to hide it. Plastic versus metal! Earth has promised... Oh, wait, we already read this one. I should save. No, too far. Spinning up tire reactor. Frequency double checks. First turn. 100%. Frequency double checks. Second turn. Stop and spin them again. From 0? Again? Where were they at? 99.999999. But that doesn't matter. They should be at 100, so we're spinning them again. Mercury, if I go out and die, it's not going to be because we didn't quintuple check every reactor pulse. Saturn, this time please, could you listen for once? No matter how useless I know that telling you this is, I know I say this over and over, but can you listen? Seriously, tell me you're going to not be risky this time. It's not a game anymore. This mission is different. It's not ship self to ship self. These troops are real weapons from Earth designed for threats that are real, not existential. They are perfectly capable of killing. They are designed for no other purpose. That's not going to even be an issue, though, because your orders are strictly to observe and not get remotely close enough to engage. They won't leave stationary orbit around the near side of the moon. They're Earth's insurance plan, and we can ignore them as soon as we make sure that's all they're doing. Don't joke about dying. That can happen. It won't if everything is perfect and you do exactly what you're supposed to. It finally matters this time, and you... Mercury! Mercury, please. I'm actually really sorry, Mercury. I didn't mean to make you worry. I didn't mean to make you really worry for real. I promise I'm not trying to die, okay? I promise, okay? Making poor choices about who to kiss and what to do isn't the same thing. I listen to you when it's for real, okay? I wouldn't cross the line. You're my friend. No one else. No one else is worth you. You're the most important. We've been through too much. I wouldn't ever go back or throw everything we've got away. You know that, right? Sorry I'm acting like I forgot. Mercury? Hey, say something. Aww! You idiot. Give me a minute. Ring? Damn it. I was going to act like I tricked you. They did talk about Ganymede, yeah. I hope we get to see Ganymede. I was going to get to feel smug making you think everything was serious and I was going to lord it over you. Damn it, Saturn! How dare you have a feeling and make my trick, my sick prank, worthless. Oh, but now I'm crying, asshole! Sorry about me, but I love you too, don't worry. They hide together in the peaceful moon's winter night. Risk dying, tearing that machine to pieces. God, these headphones hurt my head. Maybe if I make them a little... No, that just made them fall slower. That didn't actually do anything. Never mind, I gotta put them back up. Yeah, the bottom one is the loyal. They hide together in the peaceful moon's winter night is Royal Foundation. Royal Foundation's logo is interesting. Risk dying, tearing that machine to pieces. We're not supposed to be risk dying or tearing machines to pieces, so I'm interested in how this goes. We're supposed to just be observing. Whoa! It seems like it seems almost like it can't be a coincidence bumping into you again. Fancy seeing you here. It looks like we're hovering over a giant watermelon. A likely story, but please stay down. It's closing in. That thing wants to murder us very badly. It wants to kill. Yep! Aren't you itching to fight it? The autonomous military unit is waiting for opportunities, it seems. But it's really just reacting to conditions and responding with protocol. It's inevitability, gravity, law. Humans can be pretty ambiguous, which is why if you want something done precisely, you must teach it only a sliver of what humans know. If you want someone dead without complication, you need to remove nuance first. It doesn't have any kind of morality system or decision-making process. It's very non-discriminatory. discriminatory. Just gravity and nothing else. It's a gun and not much else. So maybe you should stop harassing it so much. It's annoying though. I want to bully it. I promised that I wouldn't tangle with something if it was really life or death. But now that I'm here, I'm too tempted. I just absolutely want to tear it to pieces. Her manic face. Completely destroy like it wants to destroy me. You ever feel like that? Even when you're terrified? Especially then. But it's not worth fighting. Not at all. Even a little. It's like fighting gravity or a whole planet. What can you call winning against something like that? There are a million more. You can't have a real argument with something like that. They sent autonomous troops because they didn't want to have one in the first place. It just goes to show they really don't care what happens to space or anyone in it. Or they do, and they want this badly to... Or they do, and they want this badly to believe they don't. You're gonna hate this, but... That makes me wish I could crush them even more now. Or even more, sorry. There has to be a way, right? Ooh! Look at it! It's so cool! Unlike a ship self, the autonomous military unit doesn't have a shape that remotely resembles a human. Or resembles a person, excuse me. There's no need for that, obviously. You would give something a human shape only if you wanted it to be able to express the fullness of being a human. Unitera looks so... weary. Cannot believe this chick! The name of this angel. Yeah, I know, right? Ooh, it looks like a couple of them mushed together. War has never been fought like that. Military technology is designed to narrow available resources in order to efficiently execute a single specific function. Giant robots have never been practical for war. What is necessary is a single vector pointed in a certain inflexible fixed direction. The autonomous military unit may not look human, but it is human. A single uncomplicated human thought. Die. That's so freaking rad! I'm worried that telling you this will just encourage you, so I shouldn't. It feels like a bad idea. But they're not invincible or almighty against us, even if they're incredibly, overwhelmingly powerful. Especially here, in the liminal zones of the moon, but not ever, not anywhere. It's nice to hear, even you get mad about it. I understand the math. We're risking our lives and our personhood, and they're not. It's very one-sided. Humans are cowards. And that makes me want to fight even more. I'm saying it's not worth it. The statement will be lost on Earth. They've got an endless number of drones. But you can destroy them, right? I'm not asking if there's a point. I don't care about that. I'm asking if we can. Let me know how you did it, right? Because you have. You really don't know, Saturn. You just don't. And you never will. You can wish and wish, and fight, but Earth will never let us go. 9.8 ms squared is what we are bound to. What is that? What is that? The gravity of Earth. That's what I was thinking. It is Earth's gravity. Specifically. Your weight and mine are nothing compared to that speed. We can't even scratch the surface. But you are right. It was stupid, but when I was with Kratos Graces, I destroyed one. Would have made me promise to never risk my life over something like that again. That's a huge brag, but given all that, kind of a crazy thing to do. Why? Not that I think it doesn't rule. I was feeling the same way you were feeling. Pure spite. I'm not quite as bad anymore. At least, I'm trying not to be. I know that feeling! It's easy to bet your life when you don't care whether you lose it or not. The music has gotten intense. If we fight together, we'll be betting on each other. It doubles the risk and there's still no point. Is there really no point to it though? Useless, okay, that's true. But not pointless. You are so clever, Lunatera, but you have outsmarted yourself. And now that you're believing there is no meaning in fighting against that blind and unsolvable force, I definitely know what battles I want to fight. The senseless eye of the autonomous weapon fixates on their location, but the string of pearls doesn't give it time to get inquisitive. Saturn's closing the distance, cheating distances. It reflexively attempts to close distance too, but its calculations seem to be constantly just off. Saturn, come back! What did I say? Were you listening to yourself? Aren't we doing this? Are you gonna prove my point or what? It's no big deal for you, right? You've done it before, right? It'll be twice as easy now! So don't let me fight it alone! That'll be fucked up! Yo, if two girls were on the moon, and one of them hit a rock, and the other one didn't, that would be fucked up, right? It'll be heroic if it's the two of us, so come on! Enable me! Oops. Don't you want me to not end up like you? I missed the end of it. Don't you want me to not end up like you? Don't you want to not end up like you? The autonomous military unit is extremely simple. It fires a simple burst of metal directly at a cockpit, particle unaffected by gravity, instantly lethal. It takes all the drama and expression out of fighting, the ultimate anticlimax. That's why true combat is ugly, arbitrary, horrifying, a struggle for power in absolute terms. Not a romance like fighting in a perfect body can be. It's only because you did something so stupid that I'm joining you. A blue, elusive streak, unmistakable but impossible to pin down, follows Saturn. Liar! Fake! Hypocrite! You've never smiled as much before as you are right now! I guess even a single autonomous unit not dying starts out hard, it keeps getting harder. Saturn could cheat the distance, but it's the reason she isn't instantly dead. Their targeting is flawless and predictive, based on clear indentations made in time, space, and culture by gravity. Time/space/culture by gravity. But Saturn just cheats. Every time she changes the math, and every time it adjusts to correct, and keeps getting smarter and harder. Still, Saturn does the math better than it can. Lunatera will die if she thinks to herself about what's happening for even a single second. So she doesn't. She verbs instead. Do this, do that, make it real, make it happen. Don't think or blink. Simply, impossibly, always be doing, always be being. Don't get hit and never die. Nothing like life or death to remind you that being alive is great. And in that state, you can become infinitely capable of fighting tooth and nail no matter what. Ah! Yes! Japanese Twister! That's what they call it in a goofy parody of it. But yes, 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 yes. Both of you dance like you want to win. It's my favorite. Israfel is my favorite of the angels. And now I want to draw this. Thanks. I have a little Israfel hanging on my shelf right over there. When Mare Crisium's, wait. Mare Crisium. Hard light slugs hit the unit's chassis. It miscalculates, dips in motion, but it's undeterred. It can assure much more than that. Oh, endure. Lunatera respects that and fires 12 dozen more at point blank as possible. As point blank as possible. No time for mercy, so increase the output. More than should be possible. God, that would be so cool to imagine that fight like this. Yes, 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 yes. Now that I'm thinking about it even more. Defensive insulation keeps it protected from the String of Pearls' electrotoxins. All the String of Pearls can leave is a series of bleeding, oozing, hot pink pinpricks. Nothing but scratches, until there are so many of them that there aren't just scratches anymore. There's no limit to how mean she can get. It's something else fighting like this! I wasn't ready. You're doing amazing. You're unreal. You have to be, otherwise you're dead. So don't let up, don't stop. Keep going. It's the only way. Every approach and hit counts. You gotta be perfect. The autonomous military unit is fast. Faster than either of them. But isn't faster than coincidence. It's not fast enough to predict someone who's not even thinking. And it's not faster than cheating. Saturn works her whole hand into its guts and comes out with a fistful. Got censored for everyone's sake. It has dozens of redundant components designed to withstand unreal trauma and continue fighting, but there's a slight delay as the failsafe switch circuits. That moment in time is enough for Lunatera to plunge her iridescent blade into flailing sensors that burn into white light. Even torn in half, ripped apart both ways. Whipped apart both ways. Wait, that's... Okay, it does say apart twice, I'm not going crazy. Even torn in half, ripped apart both ways, apart by a division of light and dark, undone, the autonomous unit still moves. The only way they will win is to be completely thorough. I thought that was my cat for a second, that sound there. I thought that was Obi murring. Pull the guts out every which way, never show mercy, and never let go, until they bathe in it head to toe. At the end, they don't even realize when the moment came that they were still alive, that they had won. Are you finally satisfied? God, it was worse than I remembered. No idea how I did it alone. I feel incredible! Beyond satisfied! If I didn't feel almost dead, I'd be begging you to do that all over again. I knew it just encouraged you. Shows the good I did. Oh, shows the good it did. You know, Lunatera, I'm fighting, no matter what. No matter who wins. I know the best I can hope for is half of what I want. But I'm not here for a realistic outcome, even if that's all we get. I'm just going to fight, forever, with perfect greed, until I get everything. I don't know if I could be that cool. When it comes down to it, I won't stop either. What up, lepers? I bet it's well then. I'm quite impressed. You don't even sound surprised! With how much I fucked everything up. I thought I'd get to see you surprised for once. If you had this much faith in me, you shouldn't have got so mad. I wouldn't be suspecting you very much if I wasn't prepared with contingency plans. But I'm delighted to not need them. I thought so. I used to think you knew everything. Oh, good to see you're understanding the fallibility of your superiors. Now I understand it's because you don't have any experience not getting what you want. And you always are sure, deep down, it'll turn out for you. You wound me. I'm no stranger to not getting what I want. The world would be a very different place if I did. No, Iapetus. Not even close. You've never even come close to not getting what you want. Like I have. Forgive me then. If you put it like that, I'm certainly much closer than you. But that's the reason for this arrangement, of course. You will all get the bodies you want, or wanted so much. And Earth will have the villain it desires. Ah, so you are that clever. What of it? It's still a mutually beneficial scenario. You and humanity will be so different from each other that you could not possibly understand or communicate with each other. Both sides can fight each other and with abandon until the end of time and never hurt those they love. You will have yours, we will have ours. If you have the will to abandon your own humanity, then abandoning the rest of the human race, who never cared for you in the slightest, should be trivial. Ah, you don't know how relieved that makes me to hear. You really don't understand. Whether it's spite or love, no way I'm not sharing this gift. Fuck 'em up, Saturn! The fleets crash, ship self against ship self, in the shadow of the gravity well, none of it visible from Earth. A quiet conflict, not a war, as has been stressed. It's more like a very pointed argument. It could be a conversation, if only they understood each other. And sometimes they do. It could be kissing, if they loved each other. And sometimes they do. With the gravity well open, unrestrained, they fight weightlessly, under the full weight of their own gravity alone. A truer way to fight than anyone has experienced before. To fight with one's own self, and the full weight of one's gravity in the hollow weight of inverse, is the only time this will be possible. Our true power, unrestrained. Celestial mechanics simply takes advantage when no one else is looking. Celestial mechanics make no plans to win. After all, there's no way to win in this sort of conflict. The winner only has to prove a point. The way that the celestial mechanics accomplishes this is simple. True to themselves, without the weight of gravity tying them to Earth, tying them to orbit, holding them in their human forms. What happens next is the natural result, and that's what proves their point. It isn't immediately clear anything is wrong. It happens naturally, as a consequence of truly unrestrained conflict. Each one climbing to the top, seeing how far their limits are, and realizing, suddenly, there aren't any. When the first pilot sends her reactor's limits past the theoretically possible range, her reactor everts, and what only existed deep inside is now the face she wears. A perfect, unbelievably true self, so true that it cannot exist even in orbit. Until she's joined by another, and another. In unison, their gravity holds them together. This asshole! Good job, Saturn. It's exactly how I imagined. Not having second thoughts, are you? It's everything you wanted. And it will be good for Earth as well. Your infection of the gravity well was perfect. And you will successfully fuse with your ship self, just like you wanted. It's for our happiness too, of course. Humans will get to live as humans. Aliens as aliens. As enemies mutually agreed upon, with no possibility of communication or reconciliation. And no conflict or guilt on our own sides. Let me see what she looks like! Humanity shouldn't externalize all of their problems, but I think we could still manage progression with most of them. And with your hands already sunk into the gravity well, I should tell you it's technically too late. Things will take care of themselves from here. And thanks to your actions, I've had more than enough time to prepare for re-entry. She still looks fine right now. I want to see Saturn get messed up. Get all weird and inverted. No, I bet this is a dude. You got it right the first time. I knew it would be that easy for you to ditch us. Not so. I still find all of you so find you all so fascinating. Leading such beautiful lives. I have regrets, of course, but I have a real world to get back to. I'm not having regrets either. I'm only mad about how much you're underestimating me. Because you think I'm satisfied only getting what I want. And not greedy enough for more. Saturn breaks open her circuits, and then the aversion starts immediately. She could feel the gravity well pulling her inside out. The secret within humans to be pulled to the spore. She needs it, but not just yet. Hi, Joe! I wonder what it is you think you can do at this point. You've already conceded. Unless you're hoping for some reconciliation between humanity and the alien. That is, by definition, impossible. It must not be too impossible, or else you wouldn't be training all your weapons on me. Well, I am impressed, because I finally have no idea of what it is you are doing. But just because I don't understand doesn't mean I'm not going to prevent it. You have no understanding of what the violence of actual combat is like under Earth's authority. Iapetus is... I don't know how to even pronounce that one. Roniva? Foe? Terra. Vu. Could be Vu, wouldn't it? Because it's like rendezvous. But not. Rendezvous. Run. Horn of Terra is the name given to the northern part of the highly reflective side of Saturn's moon, Iapetus. The southern half of the side is named Saragossa Terra. I'm trying to find a different, definition of the, sound, like, something that has a sound for it, but, Vo. So I was right the first time when I was thinking it was like foe. Anyway, it is equipped with certain features that allow it to divide and categorize. It's an abstract ability with a lot of applications, sophisticated and sinister, and the warrant of Earth itself behind it. So Lunaterra figures the best solution is to just shoot him. A lot. Lunaterra, up in it, helping out! It's honestly a very good solution. Iapetus buckles, and whatever thing he thought he was doing, he isn't. Huh. Easy. That's because the hard part is coming next. Are all the girls gonna work together to freaking take Iapetus down so that Saturn can do, like, just screw up the gravity well? Cause hell yeah. Crush him, LT! Promise. Ha! You say that now. But thanks for going along, even though I didn't tell you anything. I know how to make the best of a bad ending. Hey! It's not anything worse than whatever you had planned, probably. So let's make it the best bad end we could find. Pay attention or die. The intent is lethal and simple, but the weight is not heavy enough to kill. The string of pearls tears a hot pink scar through space-time. His bullets can go there. If you can come close enough to talk to me, you can come close enough to kill me. But I don't want either. I want to never see or know you throughout space and time. Indeed. So complete the transition. If you remain human, you'll die. I can ensure it. The autonomous military units come to his aid, but their sensors are off. Their movements are slow. Human gravity is losing its authority here, and their tools are useless. I could seriously, really use a little bit of help here. Well, if you're actually asking. Pluto unfolds the rhythm. She decodes the sequence. Plate shifts. Engines hum. Her eyes open. So she opens up her eye, her other biggest eye, big enough to swallow it whole. And then she blinks and swallows. She's got hungry eyes. Pluto's hand holds Saturn's tightly. I thought you promised me no bad endings. That's what I'm trying. It might really be working. This already feels too good. I really know what you mean now. Do you have an answer? I'm sort of counting on you for it. You think I know how to find the good future in all this? Well, you're a good person. I need you to be the one not just thinking just about us, but the humans up behind too. But to be the one not just thinking about us, excuse me. You think I wouldn't? I think you think too much of me and too little of yourself. Oh, you wouldn't. Sorry, even when I slow down, I'm stumbling. Iapetus has an answer. The story ends when the weapon that is designed without exception to kill does so, and forces the choice between one of two sides. Human or alien, two distinct and incompatible worlds. Yeah, this tune does go hard. It's cool, I dig it. The mathematical model needs to be perfect. It needs to allow for exchanges of matter/light/information, without allowing for understanding or communication. This is an extremely easy calculation to create. It's the oldest narrative there is. It's the one that Earth has told again and again and again. Iapetus has an extensive library to draw from, starting from the first moment humans separated light from dark. there is a way. And fuck off with this. We don't want it. Hell yeah! Saturn throws that narration out. Who says it would work like that? Oh, why should it work like that? Why not make up something different? Who says physics work this way? Who says the calculations turn out that way? Saturn! Iapetus wants us to take the fall. For everyone. For the Earth. For us to scapegoat each other. I hate that. If our cores collapse, a world where anything is possible arises. And at the same time, we will have closed off all the possibilities that make us human. The existential threat we always feared and hoped to unite us will be real. And it will finally have a real war. I want all of that, but I just want to add a little tiny bit extra to it. Iapetus wants to reduce the only information it will be possible to exchange between us to violence. But you want for something different to be exchanged. So that we can't hurt each other, but that we can something else with each other? It will have to be very small and very imprecise. At least it'll be something different, you know? There's no chance of going back to being human. Not zero chance, although we won't even remember what being human is, so it's pretty low, I guess. That's good enough for me. Let's hope it's good enough for us all. I love the way the music is segues, you know, and like, it's good. There's no limit to how big we can get. Size is a funny dream. It's relative. It doesn't have to matter anymore. It can be set like any other variable. As the gravity well draws matter towards it, and even light, it emits a not energy, a not light. It can perfectly make up a body just as well as all that. Big enough to be equal to the Earth. Big and close enough to compete with the Moon. To anchor in space and time equal division between us. To be a new and separate world. The autonomous units are single vectors, prepared for human violence, and we can't be cheated like that anymore. Only sad humans can have their gravitational impression and the universe terminated by the extinguishing of their bodies. They'll have to fight us on our terms if they want to get rid of us now, the way humans should fight, with no fear of ending. The consequences will be unimaginable. We aren't going to have selves of consciousness like we're used to having. That's what it means to give up humanity. Ava intensifies. We won't know who we are, and we might not understand or grasp each other anymore. That's true. You might not know how true that is. It's so true. The final mystery of what is human, what is alien, ever shifting, for all ground reclaimed by humans lost to them. Humans have a lot. We'd only be able to imagine what it was like to be them. Hey, it's not all bad though. Don't overestimate the human race. Do the math. If we lose how humans love each other, do you think there's ways to love each other that humans don't know yet? Do they really know every way there is to touch and know each other? Or is there still much more to learn too? Maybe we're only scratching the surface. Just think about it! There are so many ways we could possibly make out with one another! We don't even know yet! They could be doing all kinds of freaky alien stuff! And I, for one, am totally down for it! Saturn, whatever year this was, 1980 something. Probably. There are many, many routes. We won't understand each other in the same ways, but we'll understand each other in the ways we never could. And we will now write a new story, with our gravity, a new world. As we leave the level of existence he insists on engaging us at, our tides push back, and Earth's tides, which no longer bind us, insist on him. What are you doing, hypocrite? You want to fight in the realm of heaven? Your place is on Earth. that's only to wonder at now. The story's ending twists. We are far away, another space and time. Watch us in the sky, but never touch. Until you find your answer on Earth, you'll never touch heaven. You know, no matter how bad you are at being human, there's no other way to be. It's really disappointing, but it's simply true. We just can't think it in any other terms. You could say that you want to not be human, but can you actually make it happen? Forget even how to logistically, technically, philosophically make it happen. How do you blueprint it in the first place? Every time we try to imagine an alien, in the end it's just ourselves from a different angle, because all we have are human things. So the ambition to assemble them in an order that's alien to us is kind of inherently doomed. But that doesn't mean it's useless. Imagining that which is human, that humans are not. When I say I don't want to be human, what I really mean is, I can't stand being human like this. Emphasis on the like this. What I want instead is to be human like that. That was the beginning of the space dream. Everyone in the Memorial Foundation felt that way when they sent us here. And everyone on Earth who believed in us felt the same way. Let's be more human. How much more human can we be? That faith waned, maybe because they were jealous. Yet, maybe also because the direction we were taking the future wasn't enough. Just another human that they didn't want to be. Or a sort of human that they're scared of being. I don't owe them anything, but there's one more thing I can't stand. Not being seen for what I am. So choose to come with us, or choose to stay. But I won't be happy without them knowing what they're missing out on. Look up in the sky and see all the weird stuff we get to do with each other. And come join. Reactor collapses. Eversion event. The impulse, always deep and always lurking, to turn inside out. Everything has reversed. Nothing is the same. Giving up everything that isn't real for everything that is. So now they can't touch each other, can't lie in bed with each other, can't get legs entangled with each other. Instead, they have ways of physically interfacing that aren't like anything we could imagine. Clouds of particles drift into each other. Maybe they touch through each other, instead of just on the surface. It can be a cold and gentle way, like through a ghost, or maybe a warm and gross way, like reaching into guts. Smiles communicated in physical light, an embrace of psychedelic mind matter. Lazy sex in a morning bed, if the bed is curvature of space-time and sex is something so obscene that it would make your mind implode to consider it. The ship self-fused to the hide, the gravity reactor to the flesh, because humans have sciences to distinguish the differences between those things, and these new aliens don't. They won't have arts or sciences. They won't know what the differences are, and they won't know what they mean, but they will understand the difference between many other kinds of things that we do not understand. A real hero would have turned out differently, but that's not who we are. Our ships have mouths now, and they open, and they can scream. There can be sound in space. Now our vibrations can touch the things that aren't there. Humans know it's time to flee. The threat from within is now without, as they desired. The moon is no longer hospitable, as alien and mysterious as it was long before it was possible to reach it. Can't speak or write, has other ways of communicating information. Can't use the old senses, has new organs for it now. Can't love in the old ways. There are new ways of having that too. Laying together in the stars, we can do that though. The metaphor translates. That's what this is, indisputably. And everyone is invited who wants to become a world and never touch Earth. That's a different world now. Their strange intimacy can touch us even now, longing to teach us and tell us what they've learned, what they share, laughing without laughing with each other even now. They are so far away they cannot even be our enemies, but they will break our hearts. I have a mouth, I must scream. Ah! The end. It's a lovely night tonight. Perfect. Not for stargazing, because the light of the trinary system outshines them by far. But it's a perfect night to watch the three of them. Look, there's Lunaterra, the 2-in-1, rising almost full. She outshines the moon. She almost outshines the moon. A bridge between the Earth and the moon no one can cross. The nebula cloud of Pluto is a shimmering, benevolent mystery, swallowing an eighth of the sky in a permanent sort of twilight. And the glittering twinkle of Saturn, that tricks the edges of your sight, this way and that, always seeming to be in the corner of your eye, but hard to see directly, making the boundaries of your heart and mind ever so thin. Brad! We lay out our blankets and watch until someone catches us, and we run, but it's all fun and games, until that day comes. They're waiting for us always. They just need 1 or 3 to reach out to them again, even if it's just to fight, to touch them once again. You got 2. That was pretty freaking cool. Mercury! Get up there and join them! Oh, thank you too! So that ends the Saturn all-oil route. We done made heaven ours. Beat the game with the CM ending. Beat the game as Saturn. So now what, gang? Do you want to try for another pure run ending? On one of the other gals? Or do you want to try mixing it up with things? That's true, it is late. Let's see what our things were at. Ooh, an all disloyal Saturn could be interesting. I think that might be an interesting next experiment, yes. Unless we want to go all, go Pluto first and then come back to a disloyal Saturn. But I definitely think we should try that one. That could be very... I'm wondering if the ending you get is the same, like if you were one of the other girls and you still favored Celestial Mechanics the whole time, would you still get this ending? Because I kind of suspect you would. It just might have a slightly different, lead up to it. It does have a lot of branching paths, and I love it! My favorite. Indeed, we could be another girl and go out from there, and then go back to trying the different routes later on if we wish. As I certainly do wish. This music, it makes me it sounds like the Wind Waker, the gale, the wind, the one to direct the weather, to change the wind direction. It also kind of sounds like the notes for tuning a ukulele. Do 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 do. That's a good question. I also wonder if there's a Mercury equivalent in the other notes. I want to know who they are. Every time the game boots up, I think about that. But anyway, we should probably call it a night for now. I think this is a good stopping point. We can start Pluto route on Thursday. Though I do have to remind you guys, as it is February, we will be starting a Toki Meki Memorial playthrough in about a week and a half. And I hope I'm looking forward to that a lot. As much as I'm enjoying this game, I've been looking forward to that for a year or so, at least. I've been looking forward to that since the moment I got the PSP emulator working. I mean, I've been looking forward to before that because I was going to play the DS version, but the PSP version, even more. Well, I hope you have a great time in Seattle. I'm sure you'll actually be back in time for the Toki Memo, but we'll keep you posted on what you missed for Heaven Will Be Mine. We'll fill you in on all the Pluto route deets. I'm sure they will be very interesting. I wonder what Pluto's ship looks like inside. I guess we'll find out. Oh yeah, I guess we did find out. We saw her, and we already saw her portrait like this. It has the succulents off to the side, and she's wearing the little thing. Anyway, you guys have a great evening. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care, and I'll see you on Thursday. Bye-bye!